So I made a video the other day, and in it I talked about how I had a friend who I would ride bikes with all the time and go like downtown with. And in that video I mentioned that I have a lot of stories that I could tell of during that time, and it got me thinking of some that I haven't told, and I realized that there's one good one that I love that I just haven't told on any of the channels I've ever had. So, like the other video, this story all takes place when I was in 6th grade, and actually when I was in school. I mentioned it in the other video, then I just realized it wasn't important. So, 6th grade, little me. This is actually near the end of the school year, so it's honestly probably only 2 or 3 months before my last story, so, they were kind of close together. Pretty interesting. So, during 6th grade, I wouldn't say I had many people who didn't like me. I got along pretty much with most people, really. But there was this one guy who just did not like me, which is weird because I, never spoke to this guy. We'd been going to this school together for, our whole school career, pretty much. I remember he would ride the bus that I rode on the way back from school, and, sometimes he would just, if he passed me in my seat, he would say, some mean-ass comment, what are those stupid-ass shoes you're wearing, or, just make fun of my glasses. I wear glasses, four eyes, yeah, four eyes, bro. I got called four eyes, man, it's crazy. Just stupid stuff like that. He was a 6th grader, so it wasn't, anything really bad. It didn't really bother me. I'm the type of person who I've never really cared what people say about me or say to me. I'm like, okay, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna do my thing, whatever. And I think that might have pissed him off that he could never get a reaction out of me. Let's give this kid a name. Let's call him Dylan. All right. So Dylan didn't like me pretty much. Okay, but nothing happens for the whole year, all of our school life. Nothing happens. But flash forward to the end of 6th grade. So it's like May or April. Our school lets out in the middle-ish of May. So it was around. It was close to the end of the year because we didn't have much to do in class. We were pretty much just sort of doing silly stuff. But I remember in 6th grade, and I think it was literally my last class of the day or second to last class. It was some keyboard typing class. I don't know if schools still have this, but ours had a typing class, to get you proficient with typing and doing it the right way, not looking at the keyboard and having a quick, key minute speed or whatever the hell it's called, right? It was this class. Now, Dylan was in my class. I remember we were doing some weird project. I don't even remember really much about what it was. I don't know. It was some presentation project. It was really weird for the type of class, but it was just, because we had done everything and it was the end of the year, right? Now, I remember also in this class is where I met one of my best friends who's been in many videos before, and he doesn't care if I say his name. It's Jacob. Yeah, this is where I met Jacob. And the story thing that we had decided to do, it was my idea. It's so stupid. I got hella inspiration from Dying Light. I can't remember exactly what it was. I might could try and find the old Google Doc that we had, but we acted out a scene from the game or something like that. Or I took inspiration from the game. It was we switched back and forth between one person being a narrator and one person doing actions climbing, and then there was running from zombies, something like that. I know I based off Dying Light because I think I ended it with good night, good luck. And this Dylan dude just did not like it. I remember after I sat back down, he came over to me and he was like, what the fuck was that? That was so stupid, man. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck, Dylan. I enjoyed it. I like Dying Light. I know how to have fun with my life. I don't care what you think, bro. Not exact words, but I was like, maybe, but, whatever. And nothing really happened after that. Class was over. We went about our day, and it was the end of the day. It was a Friday, so I went home, and I was just chilling at home at this point. Dylan didn't really say shit to me on the bus. It was pretty chill. Nothing interesting. I go home about 3 p.m., maybe 4 at this point. So I'm home. I'm chilling. Probably hop on Xbox for a bit. 30 minutes, 45, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm bored. I kind of want to go do something, It feels nice outside. I have my bike. What can I go do? And I'm like, I can go get David. I can go get David. We can go downtown. Did it all the time. So that's what I did. I asked my grand. I was like, hey, can I go downtown with David for a little bit? She's like, yeah, you just be back before dark. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I will. Right. So I go, hop on my bike, drive the minute and a half over to his house. He's there this time. And I'm like, hey, you want to go downtown? Want to ride bikes? He's like, sure. And that's what we do. We go downtown, and we just chill. We didn't even. Well, I can't say we... God, did you hear that fucking voice crack? Well, I can't say we didn't get into trouble. because we did some stuff that would have gotten us in trouble. What we so there's this it's like I, I don't know if you can hear that. There's people like doing target practice outside with guns. So anyway, if you hear that, sorry guys. There was this old abandoned like railway it's not a factory, rail yard, that's what it is. It was like a rail yard that wasn't really used anymore. And we had never been to it. And there was signs saying, don't go there. It was trespassing. But there was a road that like led to it. And it all it had covering it was like a fence. It was a gate and a fence. So we were like, you know what? I kind of want to go in there. So we rode our bikes there and just climbed over the fence and explored it for like an hour or something. There were a few like train cars left and a bunch of like old cool shit. It was awesome. It was pretty cool. So we spent a good hour there, and I remember I wasn't ready to leave, but he was, because he had to go. He was like, man, I'm hungry and I kind of got to use the bathroom. Let's go to Hardee's. But I had seen a cool building like way off in the distance, somewhere we didn't go down the tracks. Like, so the way it was, if we kept going forward, and then there was like a railway that led off like to the left, and it went into the trees, and I saw a building in there. We didn't go to it, and I was like, I really want to go there. And he's like, bro, I'm hungry. We can come back and we can do it later. And I'm like, fine. So we left, we hopped back over the fence, we hop on our bikes, and we ride like 15, 20 minutes to Hardee's. We stay there probably like 45 minutes, not long. It's probably like 7:30 maybe, getting a little late, and I'm like, hey, I want to go explore that building. So we're like, all right, fine, let's go do that. So we go in, and we go explore this building. It was honestly real kind of boring. There wasn't much in there, just some graffiti, old shit. There wasn't no like train cars left behind. Pretty mediocre building, right? We spent maybe 20 minutes in there. So we're on the way out, right? We're heading towards the fence, and I can see from like, so we left our bikes literally right next to the fence, like idiots. I don't know why. Like if someone came by and saw bikes in there, they're probably like, oh, there's people in here exploring. And I see like, so ours, from where we were coming, our bikes were on like the left side, so the right side of the road if you're going into the rail yard. I was on the left, and I saw like a little bit off and to the right, like beside some bushes, there were 3 bikes sitting there on the ground, and I was like, huh, that's weird. Those were not here when we got here. Are there 3 other people also exploring this place? I wonder, like, we didn't run into them. But I don't think much of it. I'm like, I guess other explorers, whatever. So we hop back over the fence, and we land, and we're going, like, we're picking up our bikes. When I hear a familiar voice call out, I hear someone call out to me and David, "What's up, guys?" Just like that, I turn, and I see like coming from the trees and like the bushes, Dylan and 2 other dudes, and I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing here? I'm like, oh hey, what's up? What are y'all doing? And Dylan is like, I can ask you the same question. It's pretty dangerous in there, man. You shouldn't be in there. You could get hurt. And I was like, hurt? I don't know how we'd get hurt. There's nothing in there. It's just train tracks and rocks and old buildings. Which is dumb. Like, it's old and gonna get rusty and you could fall. Like, there's many ways to get hurt. But I'm like, how did you even know we were in there anyway, dude? And he's like, I saw you guys go in there from the library. So from where we were, it was like a T intersection, right? So it was like a straight road, and it kind of curved heading back here, but it went straight for a minute, and our library was right down this road, and from this road you could see all the way down until that curve. So like what he is saying was like he was at the library and he saw us because we went by first and then came back. He saw us go down that way, and then I guess he just followed for some reason. And I'm like, okay, well, we didn't get hurt. I don't know how we'd get hurt, but we're leaving, man. So like, you want to go explore, go explore. And he's like, you don't see how you get hurt? Well, allow me to demonstrate. And this kid, he picks up a rock and he chucks it at me. And I'm like, oh shit. And I like move out of the way, and it hits fucking David right in the shoulder, dude. It wasn't like a big rock, but it was a sizable rock. And I turn, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And the next thing I know, like, one of his buddies is like just charging me, man. Charging me, David, and then like the other 2, Dylan and his other fucking goon, come in and they just fucking swing on us. Now, I had no idea who these 2 other kids were. I knew Dylan, I knew he didn't fucking like me, but I didn't think he would just find me and just fucking swing on me like that out of school. I was like, what the hell? And like, bro, he does, and that shit connects, bro. He whops me in the nose, man. And I gotta say, he was a bigger kid than me, Like I'm pretty scrawny now as a 21-year-old. So as a 12-year-old, or I probably would have been like 11 at this point. As an 11-year-old, hell, I was tiny. So like when he punched me, that shit hurt like a motherfucker, dude. But you know, I got punched and I'm pissed now, right? So I right hook him back. And like I hit him like right in the side of the head. I'm sure it didn't do much damage, but you know, and he like kicks at me and hits me right in the fucking shin, man. And like and the other two, by the way, went over to fight fucking David. Okay, so like I didn't know this, but I found out afterward they knew David because they went to school with him, and now he got in fights with a lot of people. So a lot of people didn't really like him, but he knew how to fight, right? So you know he's fucking fighting them. He's not kicking their ass because they're also bigger, a lot bigger than me and him. But he was putting up a better fight than one would expect for a 2v1. All right. But like I quickly realized that we're outmatched. I can't take this. I probably can't take this kid on, and he can't take on two kids, right? So, you know, after like fucking scruffling with Dylan, like I'm grabbing his hand, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I push him off me. I run over and I grab one of the other guys, so they're trying to hit at David, and I like throw him a bit to the right, and I'm like, dude, just fucking run. And we hop back over the fence, and we just book it through that trail yard, dude. We're booking it, and like we heard them climbing the fence after us, and I'm like, shit, let's go through here. We take off down that one trail to the left, because it went into the woods, right? And if you kept following it, it eventually led to this, like, it was like a bridge, and we went down the side of this bridge and hid under the bridge, right? I don't think they chased us that far. Like I think they lost us once we cut through the building and went out like a side entrance and went around and got back. So I think they lost us then. But they like straight up jumped our ass and then chased us for a bit. And I heard them throw another rock at me. That one missed me and David, but they tried. Like I heard it like land behind me. I turned around and I saw like it skittering across the other rocks on the railway. I'm just like, we sat under that bridge for probably like 30 minutes, and I was like, dude, what the fuck just happened? David told me, he was like, I know those fucking kids. I got into a fight with one of their brothers, and they hate me for it. I don't remember what the brother did. I don't remember whether it was justified, but they didn't like him, and Dylan didn't like me. So I guess when they saw us going by, they all, you know, came up with the plan. They're like, all right, let's see where they go, and let's fucking get their ass. Dude gave me a black eye. I remember when I was like, shit, dude, how am I gonna go home and explain this to my fucking granny, dude? And he was like, bro, same, because he got fucked up too. He had two dudes on. He had two guys attacking him, man. But yeah. After that, we waited it out, and then we're like, all right, I think the coast is clear, and we went back. Thankfully, they didn't fuck with our bikes. But we went back, and they weren't there. We couldn't find them, so we just went home. And I remember I told my granny, I was like, I fell. I fell on the bike, and I got hurt on the road, which was the biggest bullshit lie. I don't know why I didn't just say, you know, sorry, granny, I got fucking jumped. You know, it's not like it was my fault. I was minding my own business, man. Probably wondering, well, what did I do about Dylan after that? Did I go, like, tell on him or, like, kick his ass at school? No, I didn't do a thing. I didn't do shit. Like, that next Monday came around, and I was, like, low-key so nervous and afraid to run into him. But when I got, like, to that class with him, he wasn't there. And I was like, huh, that's weird. And then he wasn't there Tuesday or Wednesday. He got suspended for, like, the last two or so weeks of school. He got, I don't know what it was for. I think it was for another fight that he had got into. This one was in school. And it was, like, apparently it was, like, a pretty bad fight. And he got suspended for the last 2 weeks of school. But yeah, like after that, I saw him again in 7th grade, and he didn't say shit to me. He didn't try and fuck with me or fight with me anymore. He might have said a few, you know, mean comments to me a few times, but after that, he didn't really fuck with me. And then like in high school, we didn't really become friends, but we had some mutual friends, so like we kind of got along. But it was just so weird, dude. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I really am doing more of these. Clearly, I think I'm gonna keep this up for a while. I really love this. Anyway, time for some shameless plugging. Go follow my threads, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Twitch. I'm gonna be streaming soon. I said that last time. I will continue to keep my promise. I will be streaming. I Don't know what I'm gonna stream, but I'll be streaming something. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this. Peace out.